Hi folks, in this series of videos I'm going to be talking to you about chords, how to make them, how to interpret their symbols, and what scales produce them. I'm going to be using the accordion. I'm going to be doing everything in the key of C. So if you want to know how chords work in all the other keys, you got to just transpose everything. So I'm going to be working off of my giant chord spreadsheet. There's a link to it in the description. It's got all the information you could ever need about all the widely used chords, so be sure to refer to that. One word before I get started, this information is not easily learned in the abstract. The best way to learn it is in the context of actual music. So after you've gone through and tried out these chords on the accordion or on your instrument, go find some actual music, some chord charts, some lead sheets, and see if you can apply what you've learned to some songs that you're familiar with, all right? So what I'm going to be talking about in this video are triads, which are chords with 3 notes in them. There is a very large number of possible triads you can play, but there are only 4 kinds in common usage, and of those, 2 of them are the ones that you mostly see all the time. So I'm going to start with the major triad. And in C, the chord symbol you would see for a major triad looks like just the letter C. Or you might sometimes see C maj, or the C triangle, this delta that jazz musicians use. And it's generated by a lot of different scales, but I'm going to be sticking to the C major scale for now. So making a triad from a scale is real simple. Just start on the first note, skip the second note and play the third note, skip the fourth note and play the fifth note. Ta-da! A C major triad. Sounds pretty happy, yeah? Pretty bright, pretty cheerful. Triumphant also. So those are the stereotypical emotional associations with the major triad. Now let's contrast that with the next kind of triad, which is the minor triad. So you'll see the chord symbols written C min, min, or just C lowercase m, or a little C minus sign. And the minor triad is generated by lots of different scales, but basically if the scale name has the word minor in it, then it will give you a minor triad. So I'm going to switch from the major scale to the natural minor scale. Now we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to start with this first note, skip the second note, and go to the third note, skip the fourth note, and go to the fifth. That is a C minor triad. Sad, yeah. Tragic. Somber. Yeah. Serious. The reason for the terms major and minor are Latin for big and small. So the major triad, look at this distance between the root and the third. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 semitones. Yeah, this distance here. Major third. Now look at the comparable distance on the minor triad. This is a minor third, going 1, 2, 3 semitones. Yeah. So the major triad, it's just bigger. The minor triad, or the major third, is bigger. The minor triad is small. I mean, the minor third, sorry, is small. Both got that same fifth on top. All right, so most of the triads you're going to see out there in the world are either major or minor, but there are 2 other kinds that you should be aware of. They don't come up that often, but it would be irresponsible of me to not talk about them. First, there's diminished triads. The symbols are C dim, or this little degrees sign, C little circle. And you mostly see diminished triads in the context of either Locrian mode or the diminished scale. So I'm going to use Locrian mode. So here it is. So now I'm going to get, skip the second note, skip the fourth note, And it's called diminished because in all the other triads that we've had so far, that top note is a G. It's a perfect fifth above C. Yeah, this distance here is 7 semitones, perfect fifth. But in a diminished triad, it's only 6 semitones between the fifth. So it's smaller, it's flattened or diminished. So the cliche here is, silent movie villains, Dracula, danger, evil, something bad is happening. Yeah. Not so common in pop music anymore, but still very much a film cliche. The last kind of triad you need to know about is the really rare one, the Augmented Triad. Chord symbol we see Aug or C plus sometimes. And you mostly associate the Augmented Triad with the whole tone scale. So I'm going to dial up the whole tone scale. So there's a major third. But then there's this raised fifth. So normally, right, in a triad, the fifth is here. It's perfect fifth, 7 semitones. But in Augmented, it's here. It's raised, sharp 5. And also notice how symmetrical this chord is. It's dividing up the chromatic circle into like these 3 equal sized parts. Makes this equilateral triangle. And that symmetry is unusual because the major triad and the minor triad are asymmetrical. And apparently your ear kind of prefers that and finds this perfect symmetry to be a little weird. You don't find too many augmented triads in the wild outside of like 19th century classical music, like Romantic era, your Chopins and your like Satie and Liszt and people like that, but also film composers will use it. Right, that's kind of, I forget what Alfred Hitchcock movie that's from, I think Vertigo. So yeah, used for that. And also sometimes used as a dramatic intro. Oh, 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 darling, by the Beatles. Can't hear what key it's in at all. But anyway, listen to the beginning of Oh, Darling by the Beatles. There's a big old augmented triad. So those are the 4 standard triads. Thanks for watching.